Is the Toronto Maple Leafs on the brink of a major trade that could reshape their season? With whispers of a coveted third-line center swirling around, fans are buzzing with anticipation. Brad Treliving is poised to make a move that could elevate this team to new heights. Who will be the key player in this potential shakeup? Stay tuned as we dive into the heart of this developing story and what it means for our beloved Leafs. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button to keep up with all the latest Maple Leafs news. The Toronto Maple Leafs are buzzing with trade discussions, and it seems like Brad Treliving is gearing up for a significant move before the deadline. The stakes are high, and the possibilities are endless. Whether it's securing that coveted third-line center or bolstering the blue line, Treliving has his eyes on the prize, and I can't help but feel the excitement building among the fan base. Now, let's talk about some of the key assets that could be on the move. Nick Robertson has been a hot topic lately, but there's a fair share of skepticism surrounding his trade value. Teams might be hesitant, considering his injury history and performance, but many believe he's still a valuable piece in the right deal. Personally, I'd hate to see him go, but if it's for the greater good of the team, it's a conversation worth having. But here's the thing. The Leafs don't necessarily have to part ways with Robertson to make a deal happen. There are other solid assets that Treliving can leverage. Take Pontus Holmberg, for example. He hasn't quite lived up to expectations, and it seems there's a disconnect between him and the organization. Maybe a fresh start elsewhere could benefit both parties. Then there's Connor Timmins, who's fallen down the depth chart after losing his spot to Philippe Myers. With his recent struggles, you have to wonder if he's still part of the long-term plan. Moving on to the minors, we have Topi Niemela, an undersized offensive defenseman who hasn't quite found his niche in the current system. Sure, he's racked up 11 assists for the Marlies, but he's still searching for his first goal of the season. Drafted in the second round back in 2020, it's tough to see a player with potential just sitting on the sidelines. Ronnie Hirvonen is in a similar boat. He's shown flashes of brilliance, but struggles to fit into the lineup with the current regime. His 6 goals and 6 assists this season show he's got talent, but will it translate at the next level? Ryan Tavares, another intriguing prospect, has had a rough go this season, with just 1 goal and 6 assists in 21 games with the Marlies. Drafted in the 7th round, he's been a project player, but it might be time to reassess his future with the team. Treliving has inherited a team filled with smaller, skilled forwards, but the shift towards larger bodies has changed the landscape. One of the silver linings in all of this is that the Leafs have a treasure trove of draft picks. 16 in total. While they might not have a first-round pick in 2025, they do have one in 2026. If the window for winning is short, sacrificing a pick for the right player could be a move that defines this franchise for years to come. I can't help but feel that Treliving knows the urgency of the situation. The Leafs have a core that's ready to compete, and they need to maximize this window. Every decision made right now is crucial. Will he find that perfect fit to round out the roster? Honestly, I'm torn on whether he'll make the right move. The pressure is on, and the fan base is watching closely. So, what do you think? Is Treliving on the right path? Will he make the bold moves necessary to elevate this team? I want to hear your thoughts down below. Join the conversation. Are you confident in this upcoming trade deadline, or do you have reservations? Share your opinions. It's been quite a whirlwind lately for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and we need to talk about the latest shakeup involving John Tavares and his former teammates, Patrick Marleau and Jake Muzzin. They're embroiled in a high-stakes tax battle with the Canada Revenue Agency, and it's not just a minor skirmish. We're talking millions on the line. Tavares is contesting a staggering $8 million tax bill tied to his signing bonus, arguing that he should be taxed at a much lower rate of 15% due to his status as a legal resident of the United States at the time of signing. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The crux of the matter hinges on whether that signing bonus is treated as part of his salary or not. The CRA claims it is, while Tavares argues vehemently that it should not be taxed at that higher rate, leaning on the special tax treaty between Canada and the US that applies to professional athletes. This case isn't just about Tavares. Marleau and Muzzin are in the same boat, both asserting that their signing bonuses are also being taxed unfairly. Can you imagine the implications of this? If the court sides with Tavares and his fellow players, it could reshape how players view contracts in Canada. Right now, it feels like the tax laws are a barrier for teams like the Leafs. You have to wonder, Will this discourage future free agents from coming to Toronto? In a city already grappling with high taxes, this could become a pressing issue in negotiations. Honestly, I'm torn on this one. On one hand, I understand the importance of paying taxes, but on the other, these players are fighting for their fair share. They're not trying to evade taxes. They just want clarity on how they should be taxed based on their contracts. It's a complicated situation that could have ripple effects throughout the league. And speaking of effects, how might this affect Tavares' future with the Leafs? He's a pivotal player, and if this legal mess drags on, it could complicate any potential contract negotiations as he approaches free agency. The Leafs are in a delicate position. They need to secure their star players, but they also need to be cautious about the financial implications. Let's face it, for a franchise that has such a storied history and a passionate fan base, the stakes couldn't be higher. Every decision made now will resonate for years to come. The front office has to balance the emotional weight of keeping beloved players, like Tavares, while navigating the financial landscape that could change dramatically based on this lawsuit. So, what do you think? Was this the best decision for Tavares and his teammates to fight back? I want to hear your thoughts down below. Are you in favor of them standing up against what they believe is unfair taxation, or do you think they should just pay up and move on? This is going to be a pivotal moment for the Leafs, and how they handle this situation could define the team's trajectory in the coming seasons. And you know what? The players have a point. They're not just athletes, they're brand ambassadors, role models, and part of a community that lives and breathes hockey. The financial burden they face shouldn't overshadow the contributions they make to the sport and the city. As passionate fans, it's our duty to stay engaged with these developments. Don't forget to activate the notification bell to get all the latest updates. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel to keep the conversation going. I'm eager to hear what you think about this situation and the future of our beloved Toronto Maple Leafs.